Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you guys doing? It's great to be around people, I'll tell you that much. Even though I can't see your smiling faces, I know your eyes. There you go. There I go. I see some smiles now. And it's great to be the one that's coming in after lunch as well.
Yeah.
So thank you, HASBAT. Thank you, Deborah, for allowing us to do this. This is a great opportunity for us to showcase our business, which is Intercon Engineering. I am the director. Next slide, please. I am the director of business development for Intercon, and I'm also a retired Army officer. So I was air and missile defense for almost 25 years. Almost 25 years. And one of the things that would keep me up at night would be, what would happen if we were to lose power? What would happen if we were to lose power? And then I would ask my battle captains, because the S2 would throw a threat scenario at us where power is totally lost, what would we do? What would be our reaction to that action? And we didn't have a lot of solutions. Wasn't a lot of solutions there. So therefore, we were not able to shoot, move, or communicate without power. So that puzzled me. Next slide, please. So a quick history lesson here. So since World War II, us and our adversaries has been trying to target electrical grids through kinetic means. There was a study done in 1938 that said that it only would take 100 bombs to take out 75% of the electrical grid in the United States, in the northeastern part of the United States at the time. So what has happened since then? Over the past 80 plus years up to date, our consumption of power has continued to grow enormously, exponentially. So our vulnerability to power and the loss of power has made us more and more susceptible over time, which is creating a vulnerability gap when it comes to power and power sustainability and power security. So you have things like electromagnetic interference. We have things like high altitude electromagnetic pulse, or HEMP. And we also have cyber attacks. All these things can exploit our power capabilities. With the increase of power also increases the demand. So with the fourth industrial revolution, with the advent of computers, robotics, artificial intelligence, all these things are just increasing our reliability on power. Therefore, we cannot afford to lose it. It needs to be safeguarded. So, next slide. I asked you this rhetorical question. How long can your organization last without power? How long can a tactical organization last without power? When I was in a Patriot unit, we had one power source. That was the electric power plant. And if that generated power went down, then we were combat ineffective. So it didn't matter how many interceptors we had. It didn't matter how many launchers we had. It just didn't matter. We had no power to power the weapon system. So how long can you last? How long can you last without computers? How long can you last without a network? How long can you last without comms? If you're in a briefing earlier this morning, you heard General Cobbler, the Space and Missile Defense Commander, said that he wants a integrated network capability so we can share information and share data. But what happens when you can't power that network? You're blind. You're sitting ducks. So our adversaries are going to make a special point to target our electrical grids. So how do you protect them is the question, and which was my worst nightmare 15 years ago, and it still is today. Next slide. That's where we come into play. We're here to help you to sustain your power systems. We have solutions for the warfighter as well as on the commercial side. We want to help the warfighter through we design, manufacture a specialized power integration solution in order to protect their power systems, like the prime power unit for the ANTPY-2 radar, which supports the THAAD missile systems. Enercon is a subcontractor to Raytheon in support of the THAAD missile program. Next slide. So here are some 5 mission areas, I'll call them, of Intercon's critical power expertise. So it can be broken down in these 5 areas. The first one is power integration solutions. We are solutions driven. So what we do, we listen. We listen to your problems. We understand your concerns. And we address your problems up front. So we are agnostic to any other systems. So we're agnostic to engines and generators. We're agnostic to controls. What we're trying to do is come up with the optimal solution that best fits your situation. By doing that, we avoid avoidable costs and risks because it's tailored and specialized for you and for your organization. Number 2, we are experts in mitigating EMI and HEMP. It only takes a 100,000 volts to melt down your power systems, and once that's done, you're non-mission capable. So we have specialized processes in order to protect your power systems and your cabling from EMP and for HEMP. We also are familiar with and can accommodate cybersecurity to protect your cyber systems. We all know what happened on the East Coast and with the ransom attack on the oil line. I mean, that's a cybersecurity vulnerability that could also happen with power. We also are experts in protecting your equipment for extreme weather extremities, whether it be heat or cold. Our design, manufacturing, and testing facility is located in East Peoria, Illinois. It's a 100,000 square foot facility where everything is, that's where the magic happens, is like I would say, up in Peoria, Illinois. And we just recently opened a business development office here in Huntsville last year, and that's where I reside. The 4th thing is power sustainability and efficiency. We provide field service support 24/7 around the clock, so all you gotta do is pick up the phone. If it's an Intercon produced packaged product and you need assistance, we are there anywhere around the globe. We are very responsive to your needs. And the last one is crisis power response. Should a crisis arise, our ability to respond to a crisis is second to none. Second to none. And I'll talk about that here on the next slide, please. So here are a few examples of our 40,000 plus projects that we have in over 100 different countries around the globe. Intercon was founded in 1975. Last year was our 45th anniversary, and we are about 85 people strong. So we're a tight, close-knit family, and we have the agility to produce extremely positive results based off of the tight-knit family that we have. So the first example that I talked about earlier was a PPU for THAAD. It's air, sea, land, and rail mobile. It's the most technologically advanced power system in the Army's inventory, and that's the one that powers the ANTPY-2 radar to support the THAAD. It can produce up to 1.3 megawatts of power. It's currently in operation around the globe, but in particular in Europe, in Asia, and also in the Middle East. Climate, I talked about that earlier. We have a power unit in Antarctica. Has anybody been to Antarctica? But you can imagine how cold it is in Antarctica. So it takes a special piece of equipment to integrate and capture all of the components of that equipment and safeguard it from extreme weather conditions. And Antarctica just happens to be one of them on the other extreme. So we're talking about negative 90 degrees. And response. Fukushima nuclear disaster happened in 2011, and we got the call. They needed 32 1.5 megawatt power units in order to bring them back up operationally. That happened in 7.5 weeks. 7.5 weeks, we produced 32 power modules and shipped them over to Japan to help them get back up on their power grid for the Fukushima disaster. That's the equivalent of powering 1/3 of the homes here in Huntsville. That's how much power that is, that was produced at Enercon in East Peoria. It's a magnificent feat. So the next slide. So how do you want to sleep better at night? Do you want to sleep just thinking that, oh, it's going to happen, I'm always going to have power? Or do you want to protect your power? If you want to protect your power and you want to be proactive and not reactive because you don't want a crisis to arrive, you want to be proactive, give us a call. Let us come and look at what you have. We'll come down, take a look at it, we'll survey it, and we'll figure out how to protect your systems from any adversarial threat or any environmental threat that we see that may impact your organization. We are Intercon. Thank you.